Welcome to another episode of Gwen Entertainment Television. And y'all, tonight we have a very exciting episode, one that I don't think I've ever seen this done before. But tonight, I have none other than somebody who knows me probably better than anybody in the world, my ex-husband. And tonight, we are going to be the poster children for everything not to do in your marriage. Now, we were married for 10 years, together for 12. We have 2 beautiful children. But honey, a sister almost ended up on Snapped or First 48.
She did.
We'll get to that in just a second. So the first thing, we're going to cover a whole plethora of topics that happened during our relationship. But the first thing we're going to talk about is communication. Because one thing that kills marriages the most is lack of communication. Now, in my honest opinion, I communicated a little too much, a little too rough, and he didn't communicate at all. I'm talking about shut down city. But anyways, I'm gonna let you give your explanation, or some of your examples of how we messed up in a marriage, and hopefully our little segment here will help some marriages on what not to do so that y'all could thrive, so that our failed marriage could be helpful to somebody else's. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was different. We were young. I just came out of high school.
I just came out of high
military. You had what? Last year in high school? We met.
My junior year.
Junior year. Okay, so you had one more on the book. So it was different coming into it. You know, relationships. I remember, like, when I first came to your church. You know, it was April 6th on my birthday.
April 6th, what, 2003?
2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2003, April 6th, on a Sunday.
And he saw my fine self.
So, you know, I was scouting out the church. No, I ain't going to put that on.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I probably will. So let me fast forward, because we ain't got a lot of time. Once we got together, I think we had maybe the first four years being together, I think they were cool. I think they was.
You mean in marriage or?
No, just
together. I'd say 3. The first 3 was cool.
So 3. So I think where I messed up at and where it was just the lack of knowing how to, you know, from where I came from, you know, my pops, he talked to us like, you know, any other parent. We talked to their, you know, child. But when it came to him and my mama, we didn't see a lot.
Because they kept it private.
They kept it in private.
Yeah.
They'll send us out the room, you know, grown folk business. You know how we say it, you know, they grown folk business. Going out the room, you ain't got no business being him. So I don't think I had enough experience, you know, and enough example of being in a marriage and being able to communicate with a wife, you know, with a woman. Mm-hmm. So I lacked there. So when it came to issues, because issues did come, and so I knew just to stay out of trouble. Because that's what they told us to do. Just, you know, if you walk away, you know, you get out of most things if you just walk away.
And don't address it.
You know, the other half is just don't say that.
Well, from me, you know, my mama was almost Medea, you know. I love my mama, God bless the dead.
And I found that out real quick.
Yes, so my mama was like, if she was mad about something, she was throwing stuff, I got that from my mama. I got it from my mama.
She did, y'all.
Yeah. So, you know, when I went, instead of sitting down talking about things, I often yelled and screamed and was like, why you didn't, you know, just showing out. So I think if we would have went to therapy and he didn't want to go.
And that's another conversation.
That might have been worked out in therapy, possibly. So, you know, that's, you know, we ain't gonna beat ourselves up too much. And just disclaimer, we were married at the age of 19.
Yeah.
I was 19, he was 20. So we got married super young. I'm gonna give it 0 stars. Do not recommend.
Don't do that, y'all. I'm gonna tell you, and the reason why, because men need to know where they going first. Men need to have something to provide for the woman first. Men need to be stable enough in their own mind, in their lives, and happy
With themselves.
and productive enough to be able to be their provider. You know, and be able to be that breadwinner, bring home that loaf of bread, bacon, spam, whatever they gonna bring home to the family.
Bologna.
And provide bologna. But we came up on that bologna. Talk to me. Fried that thing up good. Put that old mayonnaise on there. Slap that. Y'all know what it is.
Hate mayonnaise.
But you know, men lack and men lose half of the battle because they don't know
Themselves.
and they don't know where they going. They don't have a clue where they going half of the time. You know, now for some of the men that did get taught, that had a father that told them, okay, this what you do when you get a woman.
Right.
This what you do when you get kids.
Right.
You see what I'm doing? You see how I talk to this woman. You see how I take care. You see how I do these things. You see. And so that builds the character and image and even identity of a man to now when he gets a woman and when he get children, now he know exactly what to do at home.
Right.
For himself. That's a whole different thing, because in order for a man to, I feel, a man to really be productive in a society where everybody else doing their thing, he needs to know solely his purpose. He needs to know his purpose. So you lack that purpose, and you'll be everything for everybody, and that ain't good.
Yeah, you gotta be first for your family.
First for your family.
So I want to talk a little bit about violence. So, okay. Violence is never a good thing, but violence was a little razzle dazzle.
She fought in elementary school. She fought in middle school. You don't want that.
No. We gonna edit that out.
My bad, y'all.
No.
I ain't mean to say all that.
We had a couple of violent moments. Remember the crock pot thing?
Yeah, she threw that thing through the windshield.
We gonna crock that out too.
But
we didn't fight a lot.
but let's talk about that though.
Okay.
So you were pregnant
Yes.
with Zaria.
Yes.
That was an emotional time. That was a hard time because we had already been fighting. We had already been going through a lot. I was still cutting off. I was still not talking. You know, I was still just kind of doing my thing. You know, putting. And I think what really like turned you away from me is when I kept putting church and things outside of the house over you.
Yeah.
And that ain't good for nobody house.
Y'all, let me tell y'all what happened. You want me to tell?
Go ahead. Go.
Let me tell y'all.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Talking about that scene.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, go ahead, run it.
All right, let me tell y'all. So, emotions was running high already in the house, and it was like 3:00 in the morning. And so, this is where communication comes in. Like, I should have been able to just stop and just talk to him, but I was pregnant. My hormones were all over the place. I was already irritated with him, blah, blah. And so we got into an argument, we arguing. He run outside to get the car, take the car keys. I skipped a little bit of it, just. And then there was a crock pot sitting outside, a porcelain crock pot. I was so mad.
You threw that glass.
I was so mad at him. He went to go back out. I launched that bitch right in the windshield as he was driving away, and then tried to take out the back window. It was like I had lost my mind. And see, this is where like therapy comes in. I'm at the point now, if I see red flags in a relationship, I'm gonna just back out because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure if that's still in there. And I never knew that was in there, And then we ended up calling my best friend, my BFF, Jason. And we rode around Jacksonville for a couple of hours looking for him and found the car and stole the car back.
Yeah.
And don't be like that. Don't do that. I could have went to jail.
Yeah.
I could have really hurt him. You know, the statute of limitations is up on that, by the way. So, yeah, we won't do that no more. So violence is never the answer. And especially where I am and where we are right now, we have a lot of things to lose. We were 23, 24 at the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, just emotions were high because we didn't know how to sit down and talk to each other. So, you know, and I would fight him sometimes, you know. I'm gonna be honest with you. He never put his hands on me. You know, it was me. I was Ike. Okay? So don't be like me.
Cause I would have went to jail, y'all. Everybody in the world know if a man start a fight and it ain't even his fault. If a woman start a fight, it ain't even got to be her fault. But guess who going to jail?
Right.
Yeah, they finna come pick him up.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, violence, I didn't grow up in a house where, you know, it was always violence. If something happened and my mom was hollering or something, then they was in the other room doing their thing.
Right.
You know, so I didn't even see that.
Right. And domestic violence is such a important subject because a lot of people have lost their lives over that. We could have killed each other. I could have killed you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we never want to go back to that. Don't do that, y'all. If somebody is beating on you,
windshield fit though.
let me tell you about God.
How you get that windshield fit? Because I still don't know how.
So did you know in the state of Florida, if something happens to your windshield, you can get it fixed for free the first time?
Hey,
Well, at least that's how it was back in the day. I don't know if it. I said, God protect fools and babies. And this is real. So I had like an epiphany that day. I was just kind of laying in the bed and I saw myself in handcuffs, pregnant, on like Skid Row, like sitting next to other inmates just.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like God protect fools and babies. I should have probably went to jail. But he was like, I feel like God flashed that, you know, vision in front of me and was like, if you don't cut it out, this where you finna be at. And I immediately was like, okay, let me stop. I was doing everything. I was hacking in his emails, you know, just doing all. Yeah, I had to. I did it.
That's how you find out about the old girl on the beach.
Show did.
I know it, cause I know I ain't even have no account. Mm-hmm. I ain't even I went Sprint. What was Sprint?
Yep, I went through all his phone call. And you know what? Where I am in life, I would never do that again. If I feel like I need to do that with you, you know, my significant other, I'm a bow out. I'm not doing all of that for what? I was young and just wild.
Y'all, she called. Did you call the girl?
Yeah.
She called the girl I was with. Well, I had that 91. I had a 91 Chevrolet Capri with the skirts on the back. That thing was pretty, y'all. But I was on the beach walking. She called the girl. She talked to the said whatever, ABC, XYZ. Girl get on the phone. She was like, you know a Gwen? She was like, I was like, yeah. I was like, that's my girl though. You know, we tied up. And so she was one of the type, you know, really didn't care about the home. You know, we was out there wilding. So, you know, but I just like, how she do that? And I ain't never asked her. It just coming out now, you know, that she was hacking my email. She would give my pass, she making my password for the accounts. I ain't even, you know, set up myself. So, you know, it's communication, you know, violence. We hit those two topics, but had we communicated better, had we really knew how to approach each other, you know, and knew how to really understand what each other needed, you know, a lot of this stuff could have been avoided.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to tell you what really could have been avoided had we not gotten married at the age of 19 and 20. What most people don't realize is your frontal lobe, which is what makes the conscious decisions, good decisions, good.
Okay.
Ain't even developed until like you're 25, 26 years old. And then you need another additional years of experience to test yourself tried and true. Yeah. So honestly, most people ain't really, you know, up to date as far as maturity is concerned until they mid-30s. Now, if I had life to do all of it over again, we would get married at this time. I mean, if he and I were each other's type anymore, you know what I mean? Right. So I think getting married young is the worst thing you can do. Your 20s are made for partying, sucking, and
freedom, whatever kind of freedom you want.
Not for children. Yeah, like your 20s are made just to, you know, get the foundations of your career and have a good time. Yeah. And then when you get in your 30s, maybe 40s, settle down, have children.
Then start popping out them babies, start
Yeah.
laying them seed down. Just one woman now. Yeah, for the men, just one. Don't be popping everybody, and then you got 50
Child
little
support.
children, man. You know, yeah, child support hurt.
So yeah, so I think that was so age, of course, and communication. You know, now I do have to say, in our relationship, we was together for 10 years. Now we probably shouldn't have been together for 10 years, but
Shouldn't.
let me tell y'all, the one thing, everything was wrong in our marriage. I mean, everything. Communication was messed up. The way we talked to each other was messed up. The way we allow other people in our relationship was messed up. But the one thing that never, ever, ever wavered was the sex. The sex was good. That was it. That was it. That was literally the only good thing that we had betwixt each other. And before y'all ask, the answer is hell no. It ain't going down to no.
Yeah.
But that's what it was.
I can tell you when the last time we hopped like that.
Sir, nobody asked that.
I can tell you though. Since I ain't paying attention to then hardly. You're 2011, right?
Okay,
Right?
I guess. Yeah, that was it.
What was it? Christmas or Thanksgiving?
No. I don't think so. I don't know about none of that.
It was toward the end of the year.
Oh, I don't remember, child.
I remember that because that last time I got a little bit of it, but
And that's the last time you ever will.
hey, it is what it is, y'all.
Farewell to you, my friend.
It's all good, you know. What the next topic? What
But yeah, so the sex was really good. And you know, that's why I think sex should be taken out, because if the sex is real good, it could provide what I call smoke and mirrors, honey. People be dickmatized, coochmatized, and you out here doing stupid ass shit
Yeah.
because the sex is good and you overlook everything else that needs to be worked out. So, you know,
That's right.
sex is great, but it definitely can cause you to make decisions that are piss poor. Don't be like us, okay?
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Was I the best you ever had? You on camera, don't lie.
Okay, I'm going to say top 5.
Where I was at.
You just in the top 5.
See,
Just
there go
know
that
that.
book. I'll tell you that.
I'm going to give you that, sir. Okay, because I don't know who watching this. I ain't trying to.
That was a young man, did a grown man.
Boy, please.
All right, then. Let's
Boy,
move.
So we're going to talk about friendships because we're going to delve a little bit into this. Let me tell y'all, ladies. So there was a big thing about Kiara Shear. Y'all know Kiara Shear? Sir, do you know Kiara Shear?
Kiara Shear.
Do y'all remember that time where she said her friends got to stay in the hotel? You remember that?
Oh, talking about because she ain't want her homegirl with a dude, with
Right.
a husband around. Yeah.
Right. So here go these people talking about, oh, she's just insecure. Kiki, make them get a hotel. Okay? Because truth be told, I should have been more vigilant with individuals that I call friends. I'm not saying all my friends did this, but there was this one in particular, wench.
What the name start with?
We're going to call her Sasha.
Sasha, all right. Okay.
Y'all, this is how, let me tell y'all, this is how ratchet and raggedy some women are. Men too, but I'm going to tell y'all about this wench in particular. So we went to church together, me and this girl and her husband and my ex-husband. We all hung out together. We were young married couples. And, you know, one day she comes, you know, she came to my house and was like, girl, I almost cheated on my husband. I was like, and I was so saved and sanctified, child. I was like, oh my God, girl, you almost cheated on your husband? Girl, I'm so glad you didn't. She was like, yeah, girl, he came over and we did this and we did that. And you know, we were kissing and then he just got up and left. Basically, they was naked, right? So I was like, ooh, girl, I'm so glad y'all didn't have penetration, right? 2 weeks later, maybe about a week or two later, 2 other girls that we came to church with, they was like, girl, how are you and Sasha friends? And I was like, oh, we're just young Christian married couples, you know? And they just was looking at me like, girl, she said that Kelvin came over and they was kissing and did this and that and was naked and then got a... So this bitch...
Yeah.
came to my house and told me she almost cheated on her husband, but the man that she cheated on her husband with, she was telling me about my husband. Like, and this is somebody who I broke bread with. This is somebody who slept in my bed, somebody who stayed on my sofa, somebody who ate my food. Listen, Don't put nothing past nobody. I'm not saying being insecure. I'm not saying accuse everybody. All I'm saying is apply barriers. What is it? What do we call it? Not barriers, but boundaries. Thank you.
From the other room,
Apply boundaries. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing. I am territorial about mine. Because I'll be like, I'm sorry. Is there something you'd like to say to us? I don't care. Y'all can call me insecure. Y'all can call me whatever y'all want to. But I believe that it is the man's job to put someone in their place. You know, if we're in a relationship, you're not going to disrespect my wife like that.
Yeah,
Stop.
men's supposed to talk to men, women's supposed to talk to women.
But if I got to rise up, if I got to rise up like it's Sunday morning.
But that's in order though.
Yeah.
And I ain't blocking it.
I'm going to rise up about my man.
Yeah.
I will put prosthesia so far in your ass about my man, the water on my knee, the oil in this knee gonna quench your thirst. I mean that. That's about my man. You can be loosey-goosey about yours, but I've been in the trenches with hoes before. Yeah. I'm not trying to go that route again. Yeah. Okay? So just be leery of your friends. That Kiki and Ha Ha and because this one right here was super friendly. I mean, super
I'm still here friendly. I like to get along. You know, I like to talk to people, you know. And you know, that part of me, I don't think it was.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, because I can talk to anybody.
Right.
You know, I can get to know anybody.
Right.
You know, we can jail together anyway, but I didn't respect the home, and I didn't respect her enough to know how far to go.
Right.
You know, and what conversation not to have.
Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't mean to cut you off. Let me say this. Not only that, she's a missionary at church. Okay? She a minister. She's a minister.
Yeah, I mean, to this day now.
Saving souls, sucking one dick at a time.
She wasn't no minister then, though.
She wasn't then, but I'm sure she's still a minister.
She was just a lay member, y'all.
She a church girl. Don't hurt nobody. You know, and I'm not going to talk about it. I cheated too.
Church girl with problem and church boy with problem.
Yeah.
That, you know, being young.
Yeah.
You know, being uninformed.
Yeah.
And coming up in different houses and homes and experience, you know, it shapes a person. And when it comes time to be tested and to be tried, you know, and to put out in other people's life or to put out, you know, in your home, sometimes the lines just get crossed.
But try to cross them lines today.
Sometimes the line get crossed.
Cross that shit. I dare you.
She ain't gonna do that.
Never.
Tell them about
what? What?
I did about to tell them about your little fight, but
what fight?
Your friend, what's her name? One you went to church with, in school, about scared. What was the?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No. We ain't gonna talk about that. My fighting days are over. I don't do that no more. I will shoot you, however. I didn't spend $500 and $600 on Glocks and things.
How many you got?
Shit.
2?
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay. They registered though, so you.
Yeah, they registered.
You can say whatever you want.
Please, I dare you. But yeah, I don't fight no more. I have a family to protect, and you know, once I get back in a relationship, I'm gonna protect my man too. And he gonna protect me. So
no, that was some, you know, I really didn't do in the way that I should have.
I mean, we was young. We didn't know. You can't beat yourself up.
You know, and then go back to my part, man. No, now I learned later on, you know, my dad is real protective.
Yeah.
You know, and he real territorial. You use that word, he territorial, but you know, I just didn't pick up.
You didn't know. It's fine.
I didn't know.
But you know now.
But I know now, so it's different now. You know, and I turn on when I need to, but I'm still cool, like, you know, some things versus how you might handle things. You'll go in there, you'll start on 100. You know, I might need to start at 0 and hit 10 and 15 and 17 and a half before I get to 30.
Yeah.
You know, but you'll go from 0 to 90, 100, 200 real quick. You know, but it's that's a balance. It's just a type of balance that, you know, a lot of households do. So it's cool when you understand that, and those things need to be understood so you'll know who to send in a fight and know how to win a fight. Because if you send me in at your fight, then everything gonna lose, and vice versa. So those even the dynamics that you have to use in parenting.
Yeah.
That you have to use. If you got kids, know who to send to talk to their child,
or how to communicate.
To communicate.
Well, I want to switch gears here just a little bit. So, of course, he and I were married. We met in 2003. We got married in 2005. And then 2007, tragedy hit. Of course, our family, I was in a car accident.
Right.
For those of you who do not know me, I was in a car accident and ended up becoming an amputee in 2007. That's how, me and Prostisha became one.
All right.
And so I think a lot of people would be interested in how it affected you as a husband, because I'm definitely going to let folks know how it affected me as a wife in our marriage.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead.
So when all that happened, it's trauma. I mean, it's great trauma, to a young couple, to a young man that barely got his life together anyway. Good dude, but just didn't have nothing in a sense. But I didn't know how to take care of you. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, you was there. I can't. He was there for me.
Oh, that the whole time.
He was.
And I asked her what she needed. I went to the store and back and forth. Sat with her and
when I needed to
see
cry.
What she picked her up, carried her up. The steps, or helped her. In and out the car, everything. Reasonably that you should do, and you expected to do. When a person hurt, but as far as emotionally, I don't even think. I think I just blanked out.
And I mean, it was traumatic.
I think I just blanked out from knowing how to ask you questions. How you feel, what can we do to help this? Is it anything that you need in particular that you feel you need? And then let's try to get it.
Right.
She offered counseling, but I'm just zoned out to counseling. Like I don't like nobody else telling me how to do me, how to do my house. So that's why I shun, the counseling even on the marriage scene, because I just didn't want that.
Right.
I felt we could have talked, but then not talking and not communicating effectively or even in the right manner, that killed us too. But getting back to the whole accident scene, like I blanked out, because I didn't know emotionally, how I needed to talk to you or communicate or even take care of you or even hold you again,
Right.
Not that we even did a lot of that, we held and we did that, but that was a different place we was in.
Right.
And so I didn't know how to activate that.
Now, if I ain't never told you before, now y'all, if I've never said this to you before, I am very thankful. Like when the car accident happened, he was there for me. Like if I needed my medicine, if I needed to cry, if I needed to talk. When I would wake up in the middle of the night in excruciating pain. He would make sure I had my pain medicine. He would make sure, somebody was at the house with me, or I had food when I was pregnant. He made sure I had my Michelina and my sandwich in the middle of the night. So I have to. He was there for me in the darkest of the darkest.
Yeah,
but baby, when that smoke cleared, we was back to square one, being foolish again. And for me, I'm very transparent when it comes to like my physical appearance, because I know a lot of men are very aesthetic creatures. People in general are aesthetic creatures. Like
99.999%. Well, I mean.
Yeah.
We look first before we go in.
Right.
Yeah, that's coming.
Right. So even me being in the dating field, I had to be honest with myself and say, Gwen, there are going to be men out here who don't want to date you because of this.
Right.
And I had to be okay with that.
Right.
Because, honey, me and Prostisha lit, so they lost. But, that was a very real thing, and then, you met me one way and here I am a different way, which was a very difficult pill for me to swallow.
Yeah.
So,
And that was a change too for me too. That affected me, and I didn't even know it affected me. Although you had a conversation with yourself, just like, man, you see one leg gone, one leg there, and what we gonna do together now?
Yeah.
You know, how we gonna walk together? I had all those conversations in myself privately, and we didn't have a lot. We didn't even have a lot of them together.
Right.
You know, the really iron out and try to fix some of the things that came up, you know, after and later, you know, even in the marriage.
Right.
So, no, those conversations got to be had.
That's true. But let me tell y'all what this one lady said, and I ain't gonna talk bad about it, because actually this lady actually died the same day as my mama. But this lady done told somebody.
Talking about Mama Good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Girl, that girl. No, I liked her. No, I like her. I ain't had no problem. The lady gonna say, that girl done lost her leg. What that man gonna do? My leg gone, man. My coochie is still intact. I was so mad when I heard that.
Oh, here now she was. You know,
I ain't care. I ain't care.
They just gonna spit whatever they spit. And
I don't
what
care.
you gonna do? What you gonna do about it?
She was wrong as two left shoes, bald headed.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Yeah. You know, that lady trying to rest in peace. You finna call her back up, man. Stop playing with that lady like that.
The point of the matter is, if you're going to get married, I think that's a whole conversation that you need to have. Like, if you need to talk to your partner and say, listen, if I were to be in a wheelchair, would you stay? If I were to lose a limb, would you stay? If I went blind, would you stay? What would you want to do? If I had terminal cancer, would you stay? And you know what's so crazy? I remember reading something about a lady that had cancer and was married, but she allowed her husband to basically have like a sex surrogate. You know, if that was fine with them. Now, for me personally, you know, if you my husband, honey, I really don't want to fathom the thought of you hunching somebody else while I'm on my deathbed. But I mean, if that works for other people, you know, hey, do your thing. That's just for my future babe. Don't ask me no silly shit. Just go cheat in peace, because hopefully I don't find out.
Man, you know, folks swinging and banging and doing everything.
You know, it's like
Sarah did it with Hagar. In them days, then she let Hagar go in the room with Moses and stuff.
Well, you know, polygamy and stuff was a thing. Wait, what? Oh yeah. That was a thing back then. That was
Ishmael. That was Ishmael mama and stuff.
Well, you know, I don't really know, because I'm a heathen. I don't really.
Yeah. Moses was there doing that work, man.
Disgusting. Anywho, so those are, I think we couldn't really get into, you know, some of the things that we wanted to get into, but communication is key. We did not have good communication.
That first.
We got married way too young. People, do not rush into marriage.
Please
you got
don't.
the rest of your life to do
Please
this.
don't.
Do not rush into having children. You got the rest of your life to do this. Make sure your finances. Now, finances was a thing for us because we had different goals and finances. So finances wasn't the worst aspect of our marriage.
Right.
So we was okay in that area. But finances, like I said in my previous show, was one of the main reasons why a lot of marriages dissolve. That wasn't the case with us per se. Yeah. It was just a matter of us growing apart, you know, not communicating, allowing other people to come in and say and do things, and, you know, wanches.
And ranches.
Wanches.
And banchy. Ain't your mama do.
Yeah, and then, you know, therapy. Make sure you guys have a family therapist, because we did not. We did all the things. We fought. Well, I fought. And, you know, just did whatever. And a lot of times when people say your upcoming, whatever your upbringing, however you were raised, it is absolutely a reflection on how your future relationships are going to be.
Right.
So, you know, my parents, you know, my mama was the Medea, and, you know, she argued with his dad, you know, they kind of kept things private. So it affected how we treated each other as a married couple. Y'all, I believe in marriages. I believe marriages are amazing. But if you are in it, please take heed to the shit we did and don't do that.
part two and all that.
We should.
We need to like keep it rolling. Like we need to do a part two or something.
Yeah, listen.
Hit them other point.
Yeah, if you guys want to write us, what was it, Gwen Entertainment TV at gmail.com, send us an email. Let us know what you want to discuss. If you want to send us some letters about, some of the things that have happened in your marriage and how you guys have worked it out. I want to be a catalyst to help bring change because marriage is vital to, especially to the Black community. I love y'all. Thank you, Kelvin, my baby father, for coming in, being a part of this show. And we're going to do this shit again sometime. Thank you for tuning in to Gwen Entertainment Television.
All right, y'all. We out.